OOPS concepts. So classes in Java, classes in Scala, I'll compare. Okay. For your understanding, I'll first start with all these examples. I'll first start with a Java equivalent Java code, and I will show you that execution in Java, and then we will see that in Scala, so that it will be very easy for you guys to migrate. Okay. So somewhere I created this project. This is not the one. Scala underscore test. Not even this. Scala test project. Yeah, that's the one that we are working on. Now, so in order to start with anything, just I want to just show you something. Okay. So I'll take a simple class, vehicle. So for any one of you guys like don't have even the Java basics what is class, what is object. I think I have explained this in our Java things, but again I can just spend a few minutes on that and explain. Okay. So let me my class vehicle, and okay, so I will declare this class as public or just a class. Just give me a second. So I'm just declaring a class vehicle, and treat this class, whatever I'm trying to do here, in simple terms. If I have to define, if you guys, most of you guys are coming from SQL background, try to correlate. I mean, obviously, if you're not from a Java background, obviously you might be having an idea on SQLs at least. Okay. So creating a class is like a creation of a table, and creation of objects. So the most two important components that you come across either in any OOPS concepts programming language, it could be Java or Scala. So one is class, so other one is object. Okay. So third one is methods. Okay. And again, these methods are at two levels. One is at class level, another one is at object level, but let's not go that level for now. So if I have to correlate these things, I mean, try to compare this class declaration with a table creation. Class creation is equal to, and object is nothing but a row insertion, and methods are just invoking some functions on columns or something like that. Okay, so just one value at a time or something similar to my functions. Now in our example, let's say if I have to create a table, just create table vehicle. Okay, generally I don't take this much, but most of you guys observed that from non-Java background. Okay, and learning now the Java. So create table vehicle. Here I specify year of manufacturing, which is int, and model, and I will give an ID for this also. In ID int, year int, model string. Okay, and some brand or something. Okay, just don't go by this meanings of them. So this is like a creation of a table. Just a template is created, and the same template, if you have to create in Java, will create a class. Okay, so class vehicle, same thing. Just declare the attributes. So whatever the attributes that you have declared there, private ID, private int ID. Okay, and private int year, and private string model, and private string brand. And along with this, you have to define your if you want to fetch a value, you should write getter methods, you should write setter methods, and you should write a constructor for object creation. For an empty, or whenever you create an object, how does that row should get created? Okay, so let's assume getter and setter methods and constructor are defined here. And object creation. So whenever you insert a row into it, insert into vehicle, just an ID 100, year of manufacturing is 2010 or something, and model, and don't go by my names. Okay, just I'm giving Fiesta, and brand is Ford. Okay, okay, and similarly, if I want to insert another record, so vehicle ID 101, year of manufacturing is 2013, Swift model, or for your convenience, I will reverse these two. Okay, easy to read. So Ford is a brand, company name, and Fiesta is the model, and here similarly Maruti is the model, and Swift is the model of the car. Okay, so you inserted two records, and for them you create objects in Java. Vehicle, so Fiesta, or any name that you give, or V1, just new vehicle of just provide your names, same 100, and the year is 2010, and model is, you can give in this order, brand Ford, and this is an object, and this is a class. Class is nothing but a template. It's just a blueprint where it has attributes, it has methods and constructors, everything. Object is something that got instantiated, meaning if you assign values to those attributes, then that becomes an object. If you assign values to those attributes and give him a name, and this is if you say this is of class vehicle type and all these attributes have these values, then you call it as an object. Okay. Now, at least having this much of basic knowledge, let me show you, let me create the same in here. Okay. So here I have 4 attributes. Let me generate the constructors for this. So source, go to source and generate constructor using all the 4 fields. Okay. And generate getter and setter methods. Go to source, generate getters and setters for all the 4 fields. Okay, and I want to define one more method, which is drive. Okay, so vehicle means it will have drive. Drive is just an operation. It's not an attribute that you can declare there. Okay, drive means it's a verb. All attributes you can declare them as fields, but any verbs that you can do on that, you can't declare them as a attribute there, but you can define the methods for them. Okay. Public int just drive distance. Okay. Int distance. Return miles. Let me declare one more attribute. Private int miles. Miles it got driven. Okay, and I will define that as well. Int miles. Okay, so what it should return is miles equal to miles plus distance and return miles, or I'll simply set this as void and I'll write my get miles method. Okay, generate okay, so both get miles and set miles I have written. So this is my Java class. So this vehicle is having 4 attributes. It is having vehicle ID, year of manufacturing, and model, or I'll put this on top. Okay. And brand and model, and the miles driven. And here I'll give this miles driven also set to. I will initialize at the time of construction. And I have a one extra method, that is drive. And drive for 100 miles, and that 100 miles distance will get 100 miles distance. That 100 miles distance will get added to your miles, and that keeps on increasing. Okay. Now if this is your Java class, it has all the methods and everything, and let me write public static void main or one another class. So public, in order to execute, you need another public class with a public static void main. Okay, public class vehicle test. It needs to be defined in its own. That's a good. Okay, just to refactor this. The error message here is that if you declare any public class, that class name should match with your file name. Okay, so that's the reason. So in my public static void main, public static void main, okay, just let me fix this. Either I will refactor this. Okay. I should not have changed this. Okay, so now creation of an object here. Vehicle v1 equal to new vehicle. If you guys are from Java background, don't get bored. The reason I'll compare these things with Scala. Okay, so year 2013 and Maruti and Swift. And miles driven, 0 miles. And if I have to print any of these attributes, now sysout println vehicle ID just v1 dot get ID. Okay. So vehicle here. So try to observe the differences between this and Scala. That's the reason I'm showing it here. Okay. So brand. Just get the brand. I could have already typed and explained, but you might not get this line by line observation. Okay, that's the reason. Get model, and so what I want to do is drive for. So I want to drive this for 100 miles. Okay, and vehicle miles before drive v1 dot get miles, and after that again you are driving for 100 miles, and see after driving, so v1 dot get miles. So these are things that I want to perform, and if I run it as a Java test, okay, so vehicle ID 100, so vehicle year 2013, brand I passed in reverse order. Maruti is the brand. Okay, I should have done reverse of these two. No problem. Okay, so these two got reversed. No problem. Don't worry about them. Vehicle miles before drive 0, after drive 100. Okay, so I didn't do nothing much complex operation here. I declared a one class and with 5 attributes. Okay, so ID, year, brand, model, and miles driven. Okay, and I have an extra method, drive for a distance. So for this, I have to write this much of code here, almost like 80 lines of code. The same operations, the same class if I have to declare, and everything same if I have to maintain in Scala. So we declare our Scala class. Let me declare it in a Scala class. So here I'll call vehicle. If I give this, especially this you guys have to observe. So when you are programming, when you are coding both Java and as well as Scala programs within the same project, the class name should be different. You should not think like vehicle.java and vehicle.scala can be created in the same. At least the classes should be different. Otherwise, it reports that vehicle.class is already present, because after compilation, everything is the same class names, right? So I'll declare this as a vehicle S for Scala, and class vehicle S. Now, in this, what are all the fields that I need? ID, year, brand, model, miles. Where ID, which is int, and where year, which is again another integer, and where string, okay, or let me declare this as a val. Okay, so val string, brand, which is a string, again val model, string, and var miles, which is of int. All this you have declared there. Just make it concise so that you can see in the same line. So you have declared your class, and all I do is I'll just write this def drive distance, which is of int, okay, and here equal to miles plus, or simply miles plus distance, or simply miles equal to. And this is my Scala class. Okay, I can write my public object also in the same thing, but the same way you have your public class and main method here, another separate public class and main method to create your objects. Even in Scala we need that, okay, but we need object. We'll discuss about that. Vehicle test, yes. Okay, and def main, same like that main public static void main method. Args array of okay, same public static void main method I declared here with this. Now I declare this val v1 equal to new vehicle as of ID 100 and year 2013, and brand is Maruti, and Swift, and miles driven is 0. Okay, now so I'll println just vehicle details, just trying to, okay, so let me print everything in the same line. Vehicle details v1 dot id year v1 dot year, and similarly okay. So after the year, what all I have? Brand v1 dot brand, and model so miles okay, and now I'll call the drive method. So here also I have to drive that v1 dot drive of 100 miles, and after that println of miles driven. Okay, just yeah. I mean these println statements are okay. Don't compare them. This is based on your output, how much ever you need that we have there. Or for your understanding, I'll keep them separate lines only. Okay. Now, so here you have this much of big class, around like 65 lines of code. The execution, the result part of it, let's leave this. Okay. Because here also you need those many attributes, just creating an object, printing, and the same stuff you're doing. But here, just for having your class operations, you have almost like 65 lines of code. And here you have just 5 lines of code. Okay, and you can even make it more concise.
So basically, Shiva, here we are not defining the constructor, getter and setter.
Let me conclude that. Let me run this too, and I will show you the results are same, and then I will explain the comparisons. Okay, I will show the what is equivalent to what and why it is achieved, and then I will poll for questions. Okay.
Sorry for that.
No problem. Yeah, no problem. So I mean, if you can catch up things on the fly, that's well and good. So generally, if you guys are from Java background, I leave this. Okay. I don't even. I just show the Java class and its equivalent. I'll write its equivalent Scala class, and I will ask you guys to tell me what's happening. Okay. But majority of you guys having lack of skills. I mean, I should not be saying that, but yeah, just still learning the OOPS concepts or something. Okay. So when I ran this, so run as a Java application. Okay. And you see the result. Just see Android and brand Maruti, model Swift, and before drive 0, after drive 100. Okay. And if I run this just as a Scala application, so vehicle details, ID 100, year 2013, brand Maruti, model Swift, before 0, after 100. The results are same. Okay. And the expected is everything same. But if you see the lines of code, the code footprint, just there you have almost like a, I mean, even if you do a bit of indentation here, it might come up to 5 lines, but you just have 3 lines, and here you have 65 lines of code. So here you have getter and setter methods, constructors, everything, and the attributes declared separately in the class. Okay. Now, in Scala, so we don't have those getter and setter methods. If you want, you can write, not a problem. But without them, also you are able to survive. Now, if I want to set a particular value, v1.id equal to 101, okay, and print. So v1.id, the same ID. So if you want to print this, now it should print the vehicle ID as 101. Okay, so you set that ID value as sorry, okay, this is just text message, but value is 101. Okay, and here if you want to change the same, you have to invoke the method v1 dot set ID as 101 and sysout dot println just vehicle ID get ID. So if you want to set a vehicle ID, you are calling a method set ID, and if you want to fetch that value, you are calling that get ID method. But here in Scala, you are simply able to directly access that method or the field v1.id equal to 101. This is as good as calling that setter method. Or if you don't care about that, so you have set your value and you have fetched your value just by your field name.
Hey Shiva.
Yes, Raj.
Okay, I have one question. In the Java, whenever we design this kind of POJO class and we just define the field variable as a private and define the setter and getter, so we can, like no one can directly understand the field names, right? Because since they are private, so you cannot access from outside. But why in the Scala we have directly the variable access?
Here again, we will discuss that as well. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Just remind me if I forget. Okay. I will answer your question. Now, so there you can't access just the variable name. That's it. But the values anyway you can access by methods in Java. Okay. Just the variable name you can't access. That how does that ensures your security?
In the Java?
Yeah.
Usually that's why, because the actually basically in the Java we have one of the OOPS concept as encapsulations. Right. And
as part of encapsulation, if you want to hide a field, you just make it as private and you don't expose a getter method, then it is secured.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You don't expose a getter method with public scope, then that field is secured. If you expose a public getter method, you are just saving your variable name. I mean, you are protecting your variable name, but not the value. If your variable name is password and so value is actual value, whether you want to protect the variable name or actual value.
Yes.
Obviously, if you have a getter method, the user can access that password. That's a different. Okay. Let's discuss that as well. But let me complete this. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And whatever you said, if you have getter and setter methods, that encapsulation, you are not actually achieving that. That's what I wanted to say. That. Okay. Let's come back to that again.
Okay.
Now, so here you are able to set a value to a field, and you are able to fetch the value of your field. And you just declared all your fields in the class declaration itself.